Champions of the Realm, welcome to week 5 of the Paladins Founders Qualifying Tournament. This region is, of course, North America. It is Sunday, day 2 of this week, and we have an interesting set of matches coming up ahead. Tattle, we got the brackets on screen right now. Why don't we go ahead and break those down real quick?
I mean, it's the most clowny fiesta kind of region coming in this week, so I'm looking forward to it. Had to make it early on, you know? The joke has to be there.
All right, you get that out of your system already.
I mean, we go to the EU Conga all the time. We gotta stick close to the NA Clown Fiesta as well.
Absolutely.
But brackets coming in for today, of course. We've got the 4 teams coming into today's playoffs for the North American region. Is Kungarna versus Ronin in the top side of things, first seed versus 4th, as Kungarna, they're looking extremely strong coming into this, terrifying team, in fact. And then on the bottom side of things, Aeido will face up against Warpath. Winner from each of those will go and face up against each other for the first seed of the day, taking that first seed into DreamHack for North America. And then the loser from that will face the winner from the losers bracket and take that second seed of the day and the final slot into DreamHack.
So, of course, the games that we'll be spectating today are Game 1, you can see on your screens, Kungarna versus Ronin. Game 2, Team Aeido versus Warpath Gaming. The Decider Match 1 and the Decider Match 2. Now, we've got a few of those queued up and ready to go, so there will be minimal delay heading into those in just a moment. But I've just remembered something, Tattle. We forgot to introduce ourselves, so who is this? Who's talking right now?
I mean, I don't even know where to go from this, Fox. I'm lost. But you, of course,
Who am I?
I am... who am I? But I am, of course, one of your commentators here for today. We're covering the matches. It is myself, Tattle, and my co-commentator, Vox. We'll be covering all of the action for today, as well as your cameramen and tech staff in the background working on keeping the stream nice looking and smooth. Only Light and Phasium with Paladins World. And we're looking forward to getting into these games.
So, Game 1, Kungarna versus Ronin, coming up just after this short break. Hello and welcome back, everybody. My name is Vox, joined, of course, by Tattle here today for this Paladins World matchup. Winner of this will advance to the top side of the winner's bracket and have a chance at qualifying straight for DreamHack. Of course, on the left-hand side, we do have Kungarna, your reigning champions in the North American region. Kusqt on Cassie, MOETORIOUS on Pip, WarDoom on Barak, myKL on Ruckus, and PCack on Fernando. Tattle, who do we have on the right-hand side?
And of course, on the right-hand side, their opponents for this series, it is Ronin, Aeido on Fernando. Gonna go with Wi-Fi for the series on Cassie, Swordcraft on Pip, Shindu on Ruckus, and DatOneGoat on Barak. And I was gonna say, we're gonna break down some differences in builds, but actually I want to break down the burn card pickups here, Vox. We're seeing 4 wreckers on the side of Kungarna.
Okay, so you made the comment earlier, just off screen, that North America has a bit of a different approach to dealing with Fernando than Europe. We saw a lot of Drogo's pickups to counter the Fernando yesterday, where Drogo's would go in, pop the Dragon Punch, and just one-shot Fernando. North America tending to leave that alone, but by the fact that Kungarna have 4 Wrecker pickups, they just want to fight face into this Fernando. They just want to take him out, make him no issue, and that's exactly what they've done on this first capture point.
It's worked for them. They just rushed up the side, flanked straight into Ronin, pushed them up that window, and they're just rolling through Ronin right now as we see PCack and Kusqt pushing forwards, hunting down Shindu as he gets taken down by myKL on that Ruckus. Mows him down. And look how aggressively these 2 members from the side of Kungarna are just holding the side of Ronin away from the point. And that's already objective taken.
And now you can see that the
Kungarna taking a 2-point lead.
Scout Ultimate was popped by Wi-Fi just at the end there, looking to try and reveal players, but it's a little bit too late. So myKL will fall down to Swordcraft, diving in. Once again, the pressure is being put back on. Aeido actually surrounded by all members of Kungarna. It's going to be a lot of trouble. You can only shield from one side. It's Fernando. WarDoom likely to fall to Aeido here. Shindu gets a return kill to MOETORIOUS, and it would appear that Ronin are going to stall out the payload for just a moment as they start to set up for what could be a successful spawn camp. The respawns are going to start coming back through from Kungarna, however, and with the devastating play they demonstrated earlier, I don't expect this spawn camp to hold for long.
Yeah, Kungarna going way too over-aggressive, pushing themselves a bit too far, and they're going to have to try and reset here to get themselves prepared or look at a possible really poor hold that could could beat them out. But it looks like they're going to manage to break the hold coming out from Ronin and start to push themselves forwards in this one. The rest of the team, all of Kungarna grouping up, pushing through, trying to take this high ground control now as we see WarDoom and Kusqt push up. There's the mega turret popped by WarDoom, is blocked out. Shindu snipes down WarDoom already. He's taken straight out of that high ground. They're losing the control of it, but MOETORIOUS, he makes the return kill. Shindu goes down. Wi-Fi and I think that's PCack chase him. Aeido chased myKL down, pick up that kill. Payload, meanwhile, still pushing forwards. It is down to the mega turret dropped by Goat there to keep the payload ceased, but it's not going to be enough as the rest of the team, PCack, still doing work on holding this, keeping the pressure up.
You made the comment right there that the high ground was originally taken. There was a mega turret popped by Kungarna to try and take that high ground, but it didn't look like things had worked out in their favor. But I mean, look where the payload is right now, and that's really striking to me. Whilst that high ground fight was going on, the payload was just escorted all the way through. myKL pops a hexafire on the backside. That's 2 sets of double kills coming out and a team wipe coming out for Kungarna right there, as the payload almost reaches the conversion point completely unhindered besides that initial spawn camp. The disengage coming out from Kusqt actually pops Aeido off the conversion point, allows that payload to be pushed all the way through, and that's why we're saying North America value Cassie. Kusqt on a 19 streak right now. And you know what, let's talk about Cassie. So let's look at the build which Kusqt is running right now. If we can just highlight that title, let's break it down.
I mean, so Kusqt, he's running that big game, which we're actually seeing on both sides as well. So that's really important for dealing with that Fernando with the weapon shots on 8% of the target's max health. You know, dealing with that evolve on the Fernando, it's really going to start to really hurt on his end. Then Fatal Sign 4 picked up, Kill to Heal 2, Shutdown 1, and Kinetics 1 as well being picked up.
So as the point has spawned at Igloo, and the point fight is going to be heading on around, Aeido taking an early lead as Ronin look to establish a little bit of dominance and go for the retake here and take some points back off Kungarna to an early 4-0 deficit. Might not work out. DatOneGoat actually picking up another kill. And there is a Hexafire popped. There we go. Shindu with a double kill does manage to close this out for Ronin. They're going to take early point capture control. And back to that Cassie build right now, as we do have some slight downtime. Kusqt losing that lead. It's the Fatal Sign pickup that I find really interesting on Kusqt, right? So enemies affected by Scout take 20% more damage. So this says coordination to me more than anything. You're timing that Cassie ultimate, not just to scout out your enemies, but to really bear down on them. If you already know where they are, you pop Fatal Sign, you can see them around walls. You jump out, everybody deals 20% increased damage, and that's devastating, right?
It's showing more of a playstyle difference than what we see normally with Cassies with their ultimates. We normally see Scout being popped after fights once you have point control, more as a way of understanding where the enemy team is coming from, what angle they're going to take, trying to come back into the point and go for a retake. And then from there, you can make the correct adjustments, position yourself in the correct place, and then shut that down. Whereas this sort of playstyle where you're looking for that Scout in more of a team fight to do more damage with the rest of your team with the 20% increase, looks to pop that Scout in the fight and just start dealing a lot more damage. And we see there that Ronin actually get the point retaken from them despite having a really good fight at the start of the point.
And I think that may well have been assisted by the Scout ultimate coming out from Kusqt. One important thing that I also want to point out is that Aeido on this Fernando not going for blast shields. It's been noted recently, especially within the Paladins community, that blast shields is very effective at shutting down Cassie. Cassie's weapon attacks deal 375 damage before blast shields, dealing 281 post blast shields, meaning that a Fernando with Evolve, it takes you about 20 arrows to kill them alone. But with no blast shields and big game on the side of Kusqt, that's going to make Aeido very, very vulnerable to all these long-range hits. And he's going to be able to be barraged down from distance. But it's not actually Kusqt who's getting the kills this time, as WarDoom picks up one, MOETORIOUS picks up another, and once again the payload just heading straight through, barely hindered by Aeido now blocking it as is Fernando, but the flanks are coming out from Kungarna.
Aeido doing what he can. DatOneGoat on that high ground is going to get shut down, and Aeido, he can't escape either. Shindu going to get hit very low, does get picked up by Kusqt. Wi-Fi now starting to do some work, however, he gets himself a double kill onto myKL, looking for that triple, but he's very low. He's going to be picked up by PCack with a charge. Get clotheslined there, son, as they're starting to push this payload further through. Kusqt picks up Swordcraft. It's just PCack and WarDoom left on this one. WarDoom having to fall slightly back as the Fernando fights come through. Shindu doing what he can on the high ground with that ruckus, as well as the shots coming in from Swordcraft. from behind. myKL picks up one. There's the Immortal from PCack with almost no health. Finds the health nugget as well. Actually gets stolen away by myKL. PCack goes down. Payload will be halted for the moment, but there's 40 seconds left on this one. Ronin reset themselves slightly, but Kungarna are not stopping.
And their pressure is just unbelievable right now. They're really not letting up. And Ronin, they're all displaced. Kusqt and myTORIOUS with a double kill then as well. The payload has actually been converted during all of that confusion, and that's exactly what I was talking about. Kungarna, especially with that Fatal Sign ultimate, they're going to be, or card with the Cassie Scout ultimate, they're working together as a well-oiled machine. But Ronin, they're having to split up so much because Kungarna, they're breaking off into individual groups, going out for the flanks, going for the pincer maneuvers, and Ronin, that instead of staying as a group and staying behind barricades, they all split up and try and head one off at the pass each, and it's just not working out for them. Now at game point right here, as Kungarna lead 8 points to 0, Ronin have to find an answer.
Kungarna just seem to be winning these fights straight out. We saw them get countered by a great chicken before, but I don't know what else they can really do. The fight starts to break out in Maze. There's a great chicken coming through from the side of Kungarna. They start to roll the kills in as well. That's a triple frag for the side of Kungarna right now, trying to find the fourth. PCack takes down Swordcraft, and it's just Aeido left. He's not able to find the kills either. Kusqt takes that as well, and that's a clean ace for the side of Kungarna, and a 16 streak onto WarDoom as well on that barrack. Kungarna look unstoppable in this game. 8-0. They're looking for the 9-0 right now, and it doesn't look like Ronin again to get close to contest. myKL and Swordcraft, they're on the duty of distracting, keeping the team busy. Ronin finally get moving towards the point, but I don't know if it's really enough. Disengage into the air. He's not gonna make it. Nice shot there from
It comes back to haunt
Kusqt.
Ronin. We saw Ronin
Right
win a
at the
game
end.
on that very capture point, on the waterfall capture point on Glacier Keep, right? With the disengage, or rather, should I say, the expectorate knockup, allowing them to wipe out Ascension and take the final point to close out a set. And this time, as we saw a Fernando charge on the point, disengaged in midair, unable to actually land on the point in time, unable to contest it. Kungarna with a knockout victory, a clean sweep. I mean, I'm speechless right now. We knew that Kungarna was strong, but this strong, they, well, I definitely say they put their money where their mouth is, and it has paid off in dividends for them right now.
Yeah, it really paid out for them there, and Kungarna just looked unstoppable in that game. We saw actually one situation where Ronin were able to turn things in their favor. A good chicken came out from Kungarna. They started to for the kills, and then just as soon as that happened, a great counter chicken came through, hit onto 4 members. Ronin wiped them. But after that point, Kungarna, they all reset themselves in base, and they came back into that fight with a vengeance, and they looked unstoppable that game. Damage stats coming through after the end of that game. 60k onto Kusqt. That's disgusting damage with a Cassie.
That, especially for a Cassie, where you expect it to be countered so hard by blast shields, also going to be assisted by the Fatal Sign ultimate right there. But what this really speaks about to me as well is we look at these damage numbers and we look at the players with the most deaths on the side of Ronin. You're looking at Shindu right here. I mean, his shield, or rather his emitter, is just being countered so damn hard by the 4 Rekka pickups that have been seen consistently in burn cards through Kungarna. So going on to this next match on Temple Ruins, we're going to see Kungarna once again face off against Ronin. Tattle, tell me, how did Ronin come back into this? Do you think we're going to see different picks, or are we going to go with more of the same?
I mean, I understand where this Cassie pick is coming from, and I actually think it's going to work if they play it right. I think it's just a case of coordination with the team. They're really struggling to really deal with the side of Kungarna with how these team fights are going. The coordination is not there. We saw in the time they did manage to pull it, the ultimate came out from the side of Ronin with that evil mojo, do a lot of work. And I think there was a Hexfire on top as well, picked up quite a few kills from Shindu. Really, really nice coordination. But I just don't think the coordination over the rest of the fight was there. They managed to pull off a good ult combo, but apart from that, the fight overall throughout the game looked very scattered, and Ronin just not looking coordinated as a team right now.
So perhaps this is a warm-up for them. Maybe we'll see Ronin come back and do a little bit more grouping up, have a little bit more coordination going into this match. Next match, of course, as has been previously stated, Temple Ruins coming right up after this short break.
Welcome back, everyone, to this second game of the series. Warpath, no, not Warpath. Ronin versus Kungarna. Kungarna taking a dominating lead in that previous game. And it looks like that both teams going for a salty run back in this one. Burn cards, however, they're looking pretty interesting from both sides. Vox, break it down.
Oh, we're going for a full-on run back on burn cards, actually. So it looks like Ronin have taken a page, or rather, should we say, a leaf, as they've picked up out of Kungarna's book, as they have picked up 4 Wreckers on each side, as well as the Fernando picking up Gather and Equestrian. And that's really interesting to me, because you expect that Fernando build to come out as it's very, very useful. Allows them to heal up for, 30% of their maximum health upon picking up a health nugget. But here we go. There's the first engagement coming through. And Kungarna, they just don't care. They're not waiting to ambush. They just push right in. Kusqt built very low, but PCack actually picks up first blood, and they're 2 versus 3 right in the back line. Gonna see PCack pick up another kill in just a moment as MOETORIOUS picks up Wi-Fi, and look at this, Ronin just forced completely out of the fight.
Ronin waited for Kungarna to go towards the capture point there, it seemed, and then they just got completely flanked, as if not really anticipating or watching for any kind of flank there. And Kungarna, despite Ronin deciding that they needed to I wouldn't even say take a page out of Kungarna's book, more literally completely copy the Kungarna book.
All right, that seems accurate.
But it doesn't seem they've copied the playstyle. They can't really deal with this Kungarna side, as myKL, he picks up a double kill. And despite being Temple Ruins of all maps, and the middle point as well, Sanctuary, Kungarna holding Ronin so far away from the objective.
And this is pretty interesting for me to see, but it's aggression that I would describe it as if I want to describe Kungarna's playstyle as anything. It's this calculated aggression coming out of all of the players. They go in, they go ham, and it just seems like Ronin don't know how to deal with it. They don't have a way to sort of disengage as a group, as we saw some teams do in Europe yesterday, and then kind of regroup and re-engage afterwards, putting the aggressive team at a bit of a disadvantage. No, they're just melted in the face of so much damage.
And Chicken dropped in the back by MOETORIOUS, picks up Wi-Fi. myKL cleans up onto Aeido as well. There's the Hexafire coming out from myKL, looking for the kill. Can't manage to find the second one. DatOneGoat picks him up, but PCack, he's looking for the cleanup. Shindu finds MOETORIOUS, does manage to teleport away, but Kusqt firing away, tapping away with that boat, finds Swordcraft, looking for Wi-Fi as well, not quite gonna land it. Payload is towards the gate, pushed very far up right now. Ronin, they give themselves a bit of room to breathe for the moment, but Kungarna, the respawn's starting to come in. The pressure starting to build up. There's a mega turret by DatOneGoat to try and force them back. Gonna deal a lot of damage to PCack. Take him very low. Again, a bit more time to breathe. Aeido going aggressive, but he's gotta be careful. Taken extremely low. Wi-Fi goes down on the cliff as well. Kusqt snipes him down. WarDoom picks up Swordcraft as well. Aeido's gonna fall too. The carry's all dead first, then they take out the tanks. Now the payload's starting its push. MOETORIOUS, Kus, they find the kills. Payload pushing ever closer. Wi-Fi can't do anything, and it's just gonna roll its way into the base.
Oh, here it comes. We're going to see the disengage. The disengage onto Aeido in midair manages to knock him away. The payload's almost reached conversion. It's actually turned around. That is the defense that has failed as Aeido falls to Kusqt. And once again, we see the mid-air disengage to push the Fernando away from the capture point. Maybe why we saw actually Aeido picking up that resilience pick last game, and he goes for it for the first burn card, as does Shindu this time. Not able to deal with all of those knockbacks on the side of Kungarna, or really just the one that's aimed and timed so well.
And I tell you what, it's just so... It's not really tactics either, I don't think, that is winning between these two teams. It's just raw fighting power and prowess right now. The players on Kungarna just look like they're completely outclassing Ronin. Kusqt on that Cassie just doing the work at the moment, taking
look at this.
down the players.
Hold up a thought, look at this. Aeido dives right into the back line of of Kungarna, right? But he's brought very low, has to pop Immortal.
Great
and there's the chicken
chicken.
ultimate. It does end up hitting onto 4, was that there? But look at this, Aeido wiped out. The kills are starting to come back in Kungarna's favor. Hold that thought as Ronin do actually take 2 down there, looking to turn things in this favor, but we saw this last time. I was going to say that Aeido just diving in alone didn't seem to have the coordination, but there was a bit of ultimate follow-up there, allowing them a little bit of breathing space and taking some advantage. So capture point advantage right now on the side of Ronin. We could see this turn around for them.
Could turn around for them indeed. This is what we saw last game as well, though. Ronin managed to win the second point fight at the start with a great ultimate, great evil mojo, and then it got taken back from them as it started to fall again. PCack and MOETORIOUS, they find the kills. Shindu with the Hexafire, but that's shielded out. MOETORIOUS with the double kill. He's looking for the triple. PCack steals it away for his own double. They're trying to find Aeido now as well, and that's a retake by Kungarna for a second game in a row. It's just playing out exactly the same right now.
And I love exactly what Kungarna did right there. So they took the high ground, and maybe because they were too low, but Ronin didn't follow to chase down those kills, to pick off WarDoom and to pick off Kusqt, wiping out their kill streaks and wiping out all of those, or getting some credits back. And by doing so, it meant that they were able to heal up, but not just that, they were able to barrage the point from a distance. So those 3 low health players were just run down by Kusqt as soon as he dives into the capture point. And that's something which we saw last game as well. Well, not Kusqt, sorry, PCack on that Fernando.
And the scout comes out. I think that's from the side of Kungarna. It comes out right there. Actually, from the side of Ronin, as WarDoom does find the kill onto Aeido. MOETORIOUS very low in the back, trying to fight it out with DatOneGoat, but the payload still pushing up. myKL finds the kill onto Shindu. That's a kill onto the Ruckus on this defense. And all of the carries, yet again, just being outclassed and taken down. DatOneGoat finally taken down in the back, but he's not been able to set up any turrets on the defense. They don't even have that right now. Aeido's the last line of defense for them. He gets on the payload to try and halt it. There's a great mega turret coming out from WarDoom there to hold off all the carries and leave Aeido all on his own. Immortal comes out, but it's just going to delay the inevitable. He dies as well. Payload pushing up. 2 members of Ronin left standing as Shindu goes down. There goes Goat as well. Swordcraft's on the battlements, but he's all alone, going to get taken down by the side of Kungarna as they swarm into the base.
And now it's just up to this, possibly disengage again, but Aeido's the only player left contesting the payload. He's going to fall so rapidly. Shindu backs off to the side, allows the payload to be converted. No trouble at all. No, there's a hold coming out once again from the barrack on the side of Ronin. And also Wi-Fi now, a Cassie contesting the payload. That's not a situation you want to be in. And it is the EU Conga coming to North America as the players from Ronin just filter in one by one, but will eventually fall. 8 points to 0 now lead Kungarna over Ronin. And it's just outclassed. They're just outclassed in so many ways right now.
I mean, I remember seeing, the thing I love about North America is watching Twitter and Discord these past few days as the sweet smack talk comes through.
Oh yeah.
You know, Kusqt, he said last night he's been dreaming of 9-0s all night last night, and you know that dream's coming reality right now. 8-0 in the second game, 9-0 in the previous one. They're looking to take it 2-0 right now as the fight breaks out. Shindu, the first one to fall already. Kusqt finds that. He does get returned by Swordcraft. They're looking to try and make this one work for Ronin. Aeido finds WarDoom. They're now trying to find Mo, but he won't let them take it so easily. Great evil mojo comes out, keeps him alive. They find the kill onto Goat as well. Wi-Fi from behind. He finds Mo. He's looking for another, but that's a Hexafire coming out from myKL. He finds it onto Aeido. Wi-Fi, the last man standing for Ronin, as actually Shindu rejoins the fray. He finds myKL, and both teams at a standstill right now as they finally look for the capture point.
I love this. So PCack sees his teammate myKL fall down, sees the respawn starting to come through from Ronin, just goes, I'm just going to mount up, go along to the capture point, but Ronin starting to put the pressure on. Actually, we see Shindu right in the backline, but Shindu's gone way too deep. Does take out Kusqt, but WarDoom quickly answers back Swordcraft, though, with a kill onto WarDoom. Now the Mega Turret as well pops on the side of Ronin, is able to keep them in this fight for a little while longer. 8 points to 0, as we said. This is set point for Kungarna, but actually we're seeing Ronin take capture point control right now, but nobody's on the point.
No one's really able to take actual capture point control. It's just whoever's winning the fights right now. It's just complete team deathmatches. All of the players just going at each other's throat. Wi-Fi gets picked up by MOETORIOUS. Kusqt trying to do what he can on the point, battling it out with Aeido. Shindu just flies past him with no health. The Immortal has to come out from Aeido as he's 2v1, trying to take him down. MOETORIOUS and Kus trying to find the kills. The capture point slowly ticking away now for Kungarna finally. Kusqt finds the kill. Great Evil Mojo. Here comes the Hexafire as well from Shindu. He finds a second. He's looking for the third. Triple kill onto myKL. He finds it. They're trying to make the retake. Wi-Fi finds one more. And Ronin take control of the point.
And that is fantastic coming in from Shindu there. We saw a lot of similar plays coming out from Ruxus in Europe yesterday where they drop in from behind completely unseen, pop the Hexafire, wind up with a triple Sun Commander, notably getting that. But this time, the objective will go to the side of Ronin right now.
Dreams shattered. The 9-0 dream is dead, boys. Hexafire's coming out from myKL. He's angry about that, and he finds a double kill of his own. He's looking for a triple, but is forced away. Mo finds one more, and now the super aggressive spawn camp hold. It's going to start to come through from the side of Kungarna. They are angry.
Oh, look at that. Scout ultimate popped as well by Kusqt, just revealing players. myKL able to solo down DatOneGoat in the back. Wi-Fi does come through to respond, but myKL able to run away on his mount, protected and not dismounted because of that emitter shield. And now Wi-Fi is just chasing everybody around, but they're getting camped in so damn hard right now at Ronin, and Ronin can't afford not to convert this, otherwise they will be wiped out and Kungarna will win off a successful payload defense.
The payload rolled all the way back to the actual point right now. That is how far forwards they are holding this one. I don't think I've ever seen this aggressive of a hold so far. Kusqt, he finds Shindu in the back. He's almost 1 versus 3 at the moment as Wi-Fi makes a great dodge roll off the side, clips him and picks that up. Aeido in the front. He's 1 versus 2. Can't find the kills, but PCack gets picked up. Mega turrets popped by WarDoom. That's going to force them away. Aeido taken low as well as Goat, but neither of them fall. Aeido finally falls to the guns of myKL, and he's going to have to retreat from Wi-Fi, who's chasing him down with that bow. Wi-Fi's got to be careful, though. He gets turned on. It's a double kill for myKL. Shindu shuts him down as well as Swordcraft find the kill onto WarDoom. Kungarna, they're being spread pretty thin right now, but it's still 50 seconds left on this one, and they are so far away from the base. Scout popped by Kusqt. He finds Shindu with a snipe in the back. Aeido is on his face right now, but the dodge roll keeps him safe. Still tapping away at the players in the back. Wi-Fi rolls forwards and the 1v1 begins. Goat tries to get there too, but the disengage is good. myKL picks up Wi-Fi. Kusqt's still alive and getting the shots off. DatOneGoat falls to his bow as well, and now he's looking for Aeido. That's a double kill for Kus. He's now looking for the triple. Shindu pops the Hexafire, but he's not able to connect, and he's going to get chased down as well. And 15 seconds remaining. Ronin, it looks like they're going to fall. Kungarna going to take the first series of today. 2-0 right now, and this
no chance to
was
take it back
a
into
dominating
overtime.
performance.
There's no other way to describe it right now. You're absolutely right. It's total domination. Actually, it will go into overtime as DatOneGoat not playing the Grok pick, which we saw this on so many times before, but on the barrack, does sneak around the backside, ticks the payload into overtime, but I don't think it's going to be quite enough as respawns for Kungarna are going to come through shortly. They're going to be able to get back to the payload and just force everybody off it. And now the payload's actually closer to Kungarna's base than the respawn point for the side of Ronin, of course. It's going to be so much more difficult for them to keep on holding it, but it's still in overtime. The respawns from Kungarna have come through successfully. Wi-Fi, the last one to fall. Gonna see, actually, no, they're not. Swordcraft not even gonna make an attempt at it. And you're right, that will be a complete 2-0 dominating victory for Kungarna going into the next matchup to face off against the winner of Eager versus Warpath.
Yeah, great games there between Kungarna and, well, great showing from Kungarna. Not really great games, almost complete shutouts on both there. And as he said, Dream is dead. Ronin managed to at least kill the 9-0 dream from Kungarna as they take at least 1 point, but probably the most aggressive hold I have seen from any team on a point there from Kungarna. They seemed pretty angry that their dream was already shut down early on, and I tell you what, this team looks terrifying right now.
I mean, if there's one player I'm going to pick out that looks more terrifying than any other right now, it is Kusqt on this Cassie pick. 25 and 25 is the KDA slash line, 9 solo kills, and the highest streak of 28. That is absolutely phenomenal. And we talked about in the previous post-match lobby how you expect all this Cassie damage to be countered by blast shields, but Ronin just weren't picking up blast shields, and Cassie comes out of the game with the highest damage over on the entire board in a, what was that, 13-minute game with 72,000, almost 73,000 damage, which is absolutely phenomenal.
Yeah, and I mean, 73k damage. We normally see this number line coming out from a pip, right?
Right.
Pip MOETORIOUS still putting out relatively high damage, 58k, still the highest on the team once you take that Cassie out of the picture. But I mean, Kusqt towards the end as well, right there. That was a disgusting sort of showing as everyone tried to just run towards him and consistently rolling backwards, hitting the disengages. No one could kill that man as the shots were just on point again and again and again.
So we did just mention briefly that the winner, Kungarna, will be going up to face against the winner of the Eager versus Warpath game, which is going on right now. So we're going to take a very short break and get straight into that with as little delay as possible. So stay tuned for more.